We're live. Happy Friday, everyone. It's happy Friday, everyone. So good to have you here, guys. Ambassador, please. So good to have you. Every Friday. For the Chiwenga. All right, it's a happy Friday, everybody. You're welcome. It's Rumbi Uncensored. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, today I'm going to ask you to drop your location because I'm super excited. I'm seeing some people are actually watching from the United States of America. You are welcome. Bless everybody. It's a happy Friday. All right, what a day. What a day to be addressing such a sensitive news that just arrived. Obert Mpofu's defiance of Mnangagwa, it is a game changer. Chiwenga tightens the screws. For those that have been saying, oh, Chiwenga is a finished thing. Oh, Mugabe's got it under control. Guys, no, Mnangagwa, I've always been saying to you, Mnangagwa is overrated. I don't know why people don't get this, okay? You don't get it, yo. He's overrated. Oh, by the way, the Gaza revolution is alive and kicking. Okay, what you are seeing right now at play, okay, like I said, is the revolution at work. So shout out to Comrade Gaza. It's a blessed Friday and everyone and yo who are supporting the revolution, because first and foremost, Zimbabwe is why I'm here. Okay. Zimbabwe is why I'm here. I must also tell you that the politicians are not superior to the people of Zimbabwe, which includes Emmerson Mnangagwa. He's not superior at all. Not at all. He isn't. All right. So criminals are the enemies of Zimbabwe. No, I also want to say this to you. The poverty you actually see today or you're witnessing daily, it was engineered by criminals. Okay. I say it was engineered. It's not by coincidence. That is deliberate, by Emmerson Mnangagwa and these criminals to make sure that you guys suffer so that they can keep themselves in the office. Manipulating people as they're doing right now, giving you finally I'm loved. No, it's all a dirty game. But I also want to let you know that the list of each and everyone who received a car from criminals is on record. And we shall therefore follow up for money. Okay, so all the money will come back to the state because that money belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. Anyway, so no one chooses to be poor. That is Alina Kaye. But a few individuals have no right whatsoever to impoverish the whole nation. Pasinema criminals is referring to Kudata Gwire, that's whom he tagged. Anyway, if people focus on issues instead of personalities, it will be easy to predict the future. Sadly, Zimbabweans are more consumed with personalities. They defend individuals instead of ideas. As long as they keep doing that, ZANU-PF will remain in power. Nations that prioritize ideas and systems over personalities are the ones that progress. Personalities fade, but strong institutions and solid policies last. Until Zimbabweans shift from blind loyalty to critical thinking, the cycle of failure will remain unbroken. I agree with Hopo Chingono, who dropped that tweet. I am not here for any politicians. I'm here for Zimbabwe. I just want to remind you guys, if you remember what the war veterans said, the revolution, that they want to bring a stop to all the dirty games of Emmerson Mnangagwa and realign Zimbabweans and have a new path for each and every one of us. Comrade Geza said again last week that every Zimbabwean in the diaspora come back home and build your country. Okay, so before I move on, guys, if it's your first time to pass through this channel, you are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell, so at least every time I'm live, you'll be robbed right here. To my regulars, I want to say shout out to you. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and also share this video with others in your groups, because people need to join in. The game, the game we are playing right now, yes, I'll repeat, the game, okay, we are busy with right now is the most important one, because finally Zimbabweans need to restore their identity. We can't be held at ransom by criminals. Anyway, shout out to Police Zimbabwe. But I've got a very important message for you and I. And this one, again, it goes to men and women, everyone, everyone. Okay, every Zimbabwean, police, military, this message is for you. I want you to take a listen, but pay much attention. Let me give you a background of what actually happened. So when Mukwanans came through for his, submissions during the Commission of Inquiry that is taking place now in South Africa, he said something really, really profound that I want you to pay attention. Okay, where are the Ndebele people right here? Where are you? Okay, pay attention. Please pay attention. Bear in mind, there's a bit of a funny music, but pay attention to what he said, please. I'm begging you to pay attention.
More curious about the dress code on the day and the fact that people who appeared were armed. Just give us a general picture. Is that normally how your team dresses? Why were they dressed that way on the day?
Although we have to now display our tactical strategies in public, but commissioners, as we're investigating and this picture coming together, then we start realizing that we now have to move from being a service provider to society,
the police,
to becoming a force, in order for us to prevent the El Cadors and the Mexicos to happen in this country. Because the threat, the enemy that we saw that is infiltrating crime intelligence, is infiltrating parliament, and is controlling our executive authority and going into the heart of the police operations, which is investigation. To date, I'm speaking to you, the Matlalas and the likes, if you're going to see the record of cases withdrawn against Matlala, and you really realize that you can no longer wear a tie and face this fight. So this is a fight that requires, for one, to apply the tactics that is learned over years. And one had to draw on experience ahead in the task force of saying, how to deal with a terrorist. And because as I see it now, I think this is terrorism. This is people who want to take over government, not through the ballot paper, but through these criminal activities. We must protect those goals to the voting station. Political parties exercise their rights, they vote, they appoint government. But if government is going to be taken in this fashion, it cannot happen under our name. So it's for that reason that we wanted to communicate a message to South Africa that we are ready, and communicate a message to this drug squad, politicians, the executive, police officers within law enforcement agencies, that we're ready for them. I said when I presented earlier, I knew that I've got a target on my back. So for me, maybe you'll forgive me in saying this as a Zulu man. So I wanted to make sure that they get a message that we
I don't sneak up on a person. I face them directly.
So Commissioner, we were pushed to the corner that for us to counter this, what is happening, let's draw attention of South Africa for them to realize the battle that we're about to face. And it is a battle, I must say, as I said, when you put that screen, that they are so-called experts, they are so-called forensic investigators, they are so-called journalists, there's a whole lot of people that are spreading news, feeding the narrative that has been perpetuated by these people in town. We have people in the organization that when the case is open, they take the docket and they keep it in their office. They don't investigate it. And we have evidence for it. The Deputy Provincial Commissioner Gauteng can be called into this commission. He will tell you the list of all these dockets that were opened. There's one of them, it's a kidnapped person which is allegedly Matlala is involved. That docket was in Gauteng, but the instruction came from the head office, JRSP's office, that we want that case docket. That docket is sitting at the head office. The mother of the kidnapped son, or the missing son, even contacted me because she can't find closure. And now we begin to see that who are people implicated, the Matlalas, and these investigations have been suppressed. We therefore cannot sit back, commissioners. We must take off our Palaberam shoes and take off our blue uniform and wear boots and go and face the enemy directly.
Thank
So
you.
the short
This message goes direct to Emmerson Mnangagwa. We are not going to sit back and watch while the country dies. We're going to drop everything. If anyone comes in and tell me about being feminine, hello, you are very late, because this battle is not for me to sit and watch children being poisoned under the guise of politics. That politicians are not destroying the country under our watch. The fathers are not going to watch this country burns. And I know some of you can come and say, oh no, but they've been watching. Hold on, relax and chill. We are not going to allow Emmerson Mnangagwa to destroy Zimbabwe under our watch. Meaning, he is on his way out. That one is non-negotiable. You understand? And I'm so desperate to wake up and hear a Shona man. You hear what he said? I'm a Zulu man that understands how to protect the land. I'm not going to watch allowing the enemy to destroy this country. Never. Look, where are Shona men in times like this when Chinese people are coming in our country with guns and knives? You understand me? To terrorize Zimbabweans. I'm waiting for a Shona man who says we cannot sit back and watch. Not because of politics, because this land that we're in today, our parents died for this land. I lost my brother, and I know many of you lost relatives during the liberation struggle. Even post-liberation struggle, we lost a lot of people fighting for freedom. Can we watch why the Chinese people do as they please? Because Emmerson Mnangagwa is dining with them and having good time. We won't allow that. So what I'm telling you now is what you're seeing at play. His father said it is enough with Emmerson Mnangagwa and his dirty games. Enough. By the way, I said to myself today, oh, how the God of the heavens avenged so quickly. Don't forget the issue that happened immediately after elections with the so-called Shavangu, that criminal, a political criminal, that Mnangagwa robbed in to do his dirty games. And by the way, the so-called advocate, I'm talking about Mudenda, right, is the one that anointed and sanitized the rubbish that was going on in our country. Today is the same person again wants to sanitize the crap of criminals. And by the way, you guys need to understand that the battle is no longer about Mnangagwa and this and the Politburo. No, it's criminals who are trying to save themselves from jail. But hey, it's time for you to pay for your sins. It's time for you to pay for your sins. But look how some people are taking life so serious. He said he doesn't want South Africa to be like Mexico. I'm sure he was just shy to say it to be like Zimbabwe because he knew it was going to be, you know what I'm saying? But he just let me move forward and talk about Mexico. Because Zimbabwe, it is where it is today. Because criminals chose to destroy Zimbabwe so that they can be able to remain in power. That will not happen under our watch. And I can tell you, Father Zimbabwe was right when he said in the young people who serve this country. Because they had watched that the shenanigans that were going on there wasn't coming from leaders. What you're going to hear later on will break your heart. Will break your heart. Anyway, we need to move on. Mnangagwa has decided not to travel out of the country at all, fearing that his allies will be arrested by Chiwenga when he is acting president, as they are said to be prepared dockets waiting to be executed. He cancelled his trip to the United Nations General Assembly in New York. We also heard that. He's trying to, how far are you going to protect these people, Emerson Mnangagwa? Now you see why the country is in turmoil. He doesn't care about you and me. He only focuses on protecting criminals that does his dirty work. And there are some of them that are here right now watching me now. Yeah, they do his dirty work. They're the ones that cause chaos in Zimbabwe. On social media, being paid trinkets. When billions and billions and billions of dollars, trillions are leaving Zimbabwe. When are you going to wake up because you're being bought a pair of shoes? Obert Mpofu is an interesting character. He doesn't talk much. I've never really heard him saying anything. He's a man of few words, but he refused to be bullied by Mnangagwa. He said, nope. We will stand to defend this country. So many things went wrong. I think you guys heard what Geza said. We apologize. And I think there's going to be more to come as soon as all the dust settles. Because eventually, very soon, Zimbabwe is going to reclaim its identity from criminals. Enough of this. But you guys saw the documents that circulated last night, right? 2 SG Secretary Generals. So Mnangagwa anointed or appointed Mudenda again. Mudenda for the second time. The history is recording you betraying the Zimbabwean people because of your greedy and selfishness. So Mudenda was appointed by Mnangagwa to take over Mpofu because criminals need to get what they want. For I don't know how many times. You remember Fumira Priscilla, who got arrested because of NASA money that went millions of dollars, disappeared. She was arrested and then they came to you and tell you that no, she is not mentally fit to stand a trial. Fast forward, she came back again to parliament. It's those dirty games that I'm here to tell you, Zimbabweans, you're not fighting politics. You are fighting the enemy, the terrorists that has destroyed lives and they want to carry on. Not only destroying our lives, our children, and they want to go after our children's children. That will not happen. Not under our watch. It will not happen. What about you going to say? These 2 documents expose the chaos and deepening cracks inside Zimbabwe's ruling party, ZANU-PF. The crisis in ZANU-PF is escalating tonight with reports that the fired Secretary General Obert Mpofu, who is aligned to Vice President Chiwenga, I also don't want all this politicking, is refusing to step down. This is evidenced by the document he signed today as a Secretary General, while the man supposedly appointed by President Mnangagwa, Advocate Mudenda. Okay, I don't even know why he's called an advocate, because the games of Jacob. Also signed as Secretary General. 2 individuals signing off with the same title on the same day is becoming a clear sign yet of a party in turmoil, riddled with factional defiance and also an open challenge to Mnangagwa's authority. And by the way, like I said, these fathers are not playing games. They mean business. They are not going to be moved by Mnangagwa and his criminals. Never. Everyone can see what's going on in the country. But I also need to send a message. Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo is the only person that he swore, even though he smuggled himself in 2023 after that shame of an election. His children are not the president of Zimbabwe. His wife, she's not the president of Zimbabwe. Okay. So we need to be very clear on that one. Okay. But most interestingly, Tamani Mpofu, shout out to Tamani, the advocate, incredible guy. He wrote a very interesting analysis, just telling you that Mnangagwa do not have the authority to fire Obert Mpofu. Emerson Mnangagwa do not have the authority to mutilate the constitution of Zimbabwe. Okay, I repeat. He doesn't have the authority to tamper with the constitution of ZANU-PF. Neither does he have the authority to tamper with the constitution of Zimbabwe. And you need to hear that. So he wrote a message that I want to read for you. Why it's hard for Mnangagwa to do what he's doing right now. He can't succeed. So he said, I've reviewed the ZANU-PF constitution, both the 2014 and 2022 versions, thoroughly, and can state the following with authority. The letter from Chris Muchangwa purporting to announce changes to the ZANU-PF Politburo is invalid. It claims the division to relieve Obert Mpofu of his office as ZANU-PF Secretary General was taken under Article 9, Sections 65 and 67. Article 9 concerns Politburo functions generally and do not confer authority for the first secretary First Secretary refers to Mnangagwa to reassign office holders. Section 65 addresses the functions of the Secretary for Economic Development and Empowerment. Section 67 addresses the functions of the Secretary for the Health Care of the Child and Elderly. Neither provisions authorizes the personnel change, Mnangagwa communicates. For that reason, the letter does not effect a lawful change of the office. Article 9, Section 63 establishes the Office of Secretary for Media, Information and Publicity, refers to Mnangagwa's letter, is signed as Secretary for Information and Publicity and a party spokesperson. That combos the title used to arrogate spokesperson authority does not exist in the Constitution. A communication signed by a non-existent constitutional office holder has no legal effect. Even if Mnangagwa's title were a typographical error, the office created under Section 63 is not the designated spokesperson of the first secretary. Therefore, the letter does not purport to communicate the authoritative position of the first secretary. There is no letter in existence which purports to have been written by the ZANU-PF first secretary. Nothing in ZANU-PF constitution vests the first secretary with the unilateral power to make the reassignments announced. Section 55 is clear on this as it sets out the full remit of his powers. In fact, in terms of Section 49, the power to appoint heads in exercise during Congress and not any time thereafter, a power not enshrined in the Constitution cannot lawfully be exercised. Accordingly, if the position is maintained that the first secretary lacks authority to reassign Mpofu at all, and that position is not accepted, a dispute arises mandating resolution. In the meantime, it's back to original settings. Whilst I've cited provisions from the 2022 version, the conclusion retained is maintained even if we use the 2014 version. So what he's saying is that both the Constitution of ZANU-PF 2014 and 2022 do not allow or authorize Mnangagwa to demote Mpofu. It doesn't qualify Emerson Mnangagwa to do so. I love it. Cheers to that. Anything that confronts Mnangagwa head on, I put my weight on it and I support it. This man is the author and finisher of misery in Zimbabwe. I want to remind you, election 2008, when Mnangagwa came out vividly so, disrespectfully, said that Mugabe wanted to do away and with this position and allow the opposition to lead. But Mnangagwa said, nope. That will show you how disrespectful he is. Because he has gotten away with a lot. He thinks this time around he can bully the Politburo as he pleases. But they stood firmly that it will never, and I repeat, happen. But I also want to remind you that ZANU-PF has a horrible track record of succession. Horrible, horrible track record. Let me give you a bit of a scenario. I think Hope Watching going to share that with us, that information. He said, I just want to share an important piece of history with you. ZANU-PF later ZANU-PF has never had a proper change of leadership at the presidential level. Every leader has been removed by the army. There has never been a voluntary resignation or retirement. ZANU-PF was formed in 1963 with Reverend Damaningi Stole as its first leader. He was removed by the ZANLA military through the Mnangagwa Declaration, which General Consul Chiwenga also signed. Leadership then shifted temporarily to Advocate Herbert Chitepo, who was chairman of the party, before he was assassinated by a bomb in Zambia in an incident linked to ZANLA in Zambia. Please make note. Robert Mugabe subsequently took over, and in 2017, he too was removed by the military. This history is important because President Emerson Mnangagwa managed to extend his term of office and install his chosen successor, Kudakwasha Gwire. It will mark the first time in the party's 62-year existence that ZANU-PF has experienced a proper leadership transition at the top without military force or being involved overtly, which I disagree because, first and foremost, how on earth can they install a criminal, Kudata Gwire? A hardcore criminal that collapsed the Zimbabwean currency. Okay, you see the chaos of the currency we had today. Kwashe Tagwire and his bodies collapsed Zimbabwean currency so they can loot in peace. Do you think Zimbabwe doesn't have the capacity to have proper banking systems, ATMs across the country, even at growth points? Do you think it doesn't have? It has capacity because we are losing trillions of dollars. But no, criminals wanted to loot in peace so that there's no accountability. There's no track record. There's no paper trail. To think that the fathers who allow Tagwire or Mnangagwa doing as they please, that one, forget it. Forget. Anyway, it's a done deal with Mnangagwa. It's a done deal. You guys just need to see things unraveling. Just wait and see it. It's a done deal. Because some of us, we've got inside information. Hello? May God bless Zimbabwe. All right, we're moving on. Okay, so I don't actually agree with Themba Mliswa, but for the first time. When somebody sent me this audio, okay, I was minding my business, having my breakfast in the morning. I don't normally want to be closer to my phone, but for some reason it was very close to me. And I pressed, I said, oh, let me just listen when I'm eating. But I found myself crying because that was one of the most, I would say, emotional messages sent out. Take a listen. Pay attention. Take a listen.
I have been the longest spoken about corruption without being listened to. And my only gripe is that is the vice president himself clean? That's my point. Because there are many issues that we went through, from the diamonds, 15 billion missing, the defense was involved. They did not account for them. Do you understand? There are issues within the party which have long been there. There are issues with the Chinese which are there as well. Is he clean himself? If you look at his asset register, but divorce, my ex-wife, wow, how did he acquire all those assets? How much is an army commander paid? How much is CDF paid to acquire all those assets? If he truly wants to be a leader to be reckoned with and not to be seen to be personal, the Chinese themselves, how much have they gotten through Chiwenga, that has been happening for a long time. They choose a foreign investor to a local investor. They are equally part of it. So you are expected as a leader to declare your assets. Declaring your assets is randinazo ndakaona salary yangu kandakaona loan kubva ku bank and so kana ndine company iri kugona kuita basa. He is able to do that because he has to do that, because equally the properties that he exposed, okay, on their divorce, clearly there is no salary army commander can CDF. If he's a great farmer, let us look at how much he generates per year to be able to buy those things. Source of income is critical. So it remains my position, and it did not change. And I've always said it has to be done holistically, not piecemeal. Kuna politics diripo kuti rukuchika kuti umwe munhu achapinda ane mari more than you, but iye munhu futi anonzi akakupawo mari futi aikubetserawo. The politics is hot, now you want to go for them. But again, the onus is for you to prove that they're being corrupt. He sits in cabinet. No decide what Madiri say. Why does he not block them? He sits in cabinet. Why does he block those deals? After they've benefited, after they're not getting what they used to get, they now want to fight. So my position has never changed. The head of state is responsible for the running of the country. So if things are not going well, even through his ministers who are incompetent, it ends up with him again, because he appointed those ministers. So my position has not changed, and I'm not a hypocrite. I'll never be a hypocrite. The head of state is responsible for government, for parliament, and the judiciary. Ndo baba wenyika. Saka kana pane zvinhu zvakanganiswa nemwana mumuri, zvinonzi baba vacho ndo vanoziva. And vanofana kupindura. So that does not mean it's the office of the president that I talk about, which equally must be able to ensure that if you look at OPC. OPC is responsible for implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Unless Panama departments are kurara, it ends up getting kunemkuru baba vanonzi imimi ndimi mukutikanganisa nekuti zvinhu zviri kuitika imimi mune ofisi yacho. So let that be understood. That's the narrative that I'm trying to give, nothing else. And I continue to say everything that happens in this country, okay, the president is responsible because he is the head of state. Ndio baba. At the same time, Chiwenga ndi baba munini, ndi baba ofuti, ndizo vari baba munini. Saka iwo ofuti moswa idzi dzinoenda ofuti kwavari navamhadhi. Tozoenda kuma ministers futi, they're all responsible for all that. But ultimately, the pyramid is very clear to who's at the top. So I don't know why people think that I can vacillate. I don't vacillate. I hold people responsible and they must be accountable. And for the president, I've done that several times. He's never had an issue with it. Okay? What the vice president did in the Politi Bureau is wrong. He was supposed to call institutions, proper corruption, straight, not kuzunza mu PB and so forth. It was not personal, wanting to expose the party, okay, and so forth. Yet he's got the powers to call ZRP and ZAC to arrest these people or to start investigating. Because the other issue, he was also supposed to bring documents which have been investigated and now people must be arrested. Because you cannot say people must be arrested before there's an investigation. You investigate to arrest. But Politburo, ICO, he wanted to go political and gain the favor from the people. He's a no-nonsense person for corruption. ZANU-PF presidium maunogara zvakawanda zvichiitika maelections munosponsor nevanhu machinese atora zvinhu munomu 7.1 trillion manize irikoko. Are you with me? Hapana chavanotaura and then unotaura mabillions mashoma aya ari kuitwa maybe in a proper way nevana venyika, but machina vasiri vana venyika munovaprotect, vari kurova vanhu vedu, vari kuabhusa vanhu vedu and so forth. Ndio leadership hiyo yatisingade manje yekuti isusu will become second class citizens. What is the vice president doing about what the Chinese are doing? Why did he not bring it up in the Politburo? Masaisa etikuzona ma-Chinese nekuti iwo vanodya nemachina, vanodya nemachina, vanoda vazosupportwa kana vada zvigaro nemachina, but not knowing kuti they are actually discrediting themselves, because ultimately Zimbabweans must own this country. I'd want to see Zimbabweans benefiting, and this is one thing that ED has done, whether you like it or not. He's given an opportunity to Zimbabweans to make money. Okay? The vice president protects the Chinese. It's well known. So how important is the Chinese? Vakarwira nyika ino imachina here, general. Vakarwira nyika ino imachina here. Sevasi kutaura nyaya dzemachina dzatiri kuona vachibaya vanhu nemapanga, vachitora zvinhu, vachishudha vanhu, vakaenda kumacourts, ivo vopindira vakuru vacho kuti variliswe. Pasinazvo. Pasinazvo, and handimbofi ndakanyarara kutaura, and hapana wandinotya at all. At all. Are you with me? Uniform dzinopfekwa nevanhu, mapurisa, masoja, air force, prisons, even CIO, kushandira nyika, not kuzvishandira iwewe, kushandira nyika. They must understand that, and we will remind them. Because the moment you start using those uniforms for your own personal gain, you are abusing office. And kune ma-charges acho. One day ma-charges acho wakagara wabuda mu-office. I'm always warning people to be careful. Okay, nema uniform amunopfeka, you take oath to stand for the people, to represent the people. Is that what is happening? Kana kuti vakuru vacho ma-uniform ndo vakutora ma-minds evanhu, ndo vakutumira mapurisa, kushandisa mapurisa kuti vaende kunoprotecta ma-interests avo instead of protecting the interests of the country. This country is spiritual, I've always said it. And we speak because it's not tomorrow kuti netitaure nezvinenge zvachitumawo and zvichitiprotectawo, so atitye. Mwari ariko, vadzimu vedu variko, aizvo atitye izvo. uniforms zavanopfeka idzi hadzipo pakuabhirisa kana kuchikidzira munhu but to serve and protect Zimbabwe.
You know, you said some of the things that are very, very important that are bothering me every day. First and foremost, guys, I wanna say this. I don't subscribe to the Baba Munini, Mai Sekuru, Ye Mukanya, He Soko, He Gumbo, He or Indinoera Gumbo. I don't subscribe to that nonsense, especially when you are working in the government. We have a problem in our country because this Baba Munini thing is costed us so much. The family, tribalism, etc. is very costly to the Zimbabwean people. And, you know, if I happen to visit Emerson Mnangagwa at his farm, maybe want to see what the hell is going on there. Let's just say if I choose to do so. You know, if I meet him somewhere, I will call him Baba for sure, because that's a family thing. But if he's sitting in the office of a president, I don't expect a Baba thing. I'm expecting a man who's supposed to serve the people. If he doesn't have the qualities, if he doesn't have the time, if he can't do the job, he must just forget. It's as simple as that. We don't negotiate. So there's a problem in our country of taking issues of the country as a family thing. I don't subscribe to this. I actually do not subscribe to it. Not a single day. I'm seeing when I mention hey Baba chi. Guys, you are disrespecting the people of Zimbabwe. There's someone, they're trying to hack my thing, but relax, we hear. These sick people, these ones are sick people, I'm telling you, mentally deranged people. And I know when they try to fight you, you're doing the right thing. And I know I'm doing the right thing. But God is with me. You will not win with this girl, yeah. I'm 20 steps ahead of you, honestly. Anyway, so Temba said a lot of things. I also don't understand that Zimbabweans can be second-class citizens and the Chinese people are being held like the gods of Zimbabwe. First and foremost, I don't see anything wrong with investors come in there and invest if they are genuine investors. I also need to put on record, I think they are genuine Chinese investors and they are Chinese gangs. Okay, the ones that are coming in holding guns and knives are Chinese gangs. They are not investors. The ones that I saw yesterday, nema panga, nema sanu, nema bemba, they are not investors. These are Chinese gangs. So to drag us into a mess because of your dirty shady deals at the expense of the people, it's absolutely disgusting. And the fathers need to understand this. What they are doing to the Zimbabwean people will be very costly in the future. They are children who pay for this for their sins. If they don't put a stop to these shenanigans, there are children who pay very heavily, unfortunately. They will pay eventually. You know, they always say the children pay, suffer because of the sins of their fathers. It's definitely going to rain. And you can see Mnangagwa is already paying. He's already paying. You thought he was smart by messing up with Chamisa and bring this, a street guy to come in and claim to be SG. Look where he is today. It's burning in his house. It's burning. You thought he was smart. But Temba lied. Temba lied here when he said that why is the Chiwenga, first and foremost, he lied online that Chiwenga did not mention this issue on Politburo. Now, boom, he's coming back because he knows that it's court red-handed. He's coming out and said, why did the Chiwenga? Why not? When a Zimbabwean is going to stand up for what's wrong, why can't he say it? If that is the right place to confront Mnangagwa, why not? Guys, we don't even have the luxury to say this is not the right place. Someone may argue and said, oh, Rumbi is a Rumbi is a girl. She should not be, why is a woman talking about this? Hello, I don't have the luxury because, I'm going to wake up and be a mama. I'm not going to be a mom that watch my child dying because of poison from criminals. I might as well die and save the kids. Listen, you can take the mantle forward. But what I'm not going to do is to watch why Zimbabwe dies. That I'm not going to do. I will stand firm and do everything within my power to defend the legacy of our forefathers. Guys, everyone I saw in the Bible who stood for what was right, God worked with them. God took them through. You can't tell me anything about what God can do. Every story you see in the Bible, since you're calling yourself a Christian country, every story you read in the Bible, it displays what God can do using the minimum. Unqualified people gets qualified. That's the God that I serve. A young, single young girl, Esther, blogged the genocide of the Jews. Don't tell me that you need to wait for a certain person. I keep on telling you that politicians don't have your answers. You know why? Because politicians are focusing on jobs. They're focusing on control and power. They're not focusing on people that are suffering. These guys are drinking and eating. They're living large. But today, there are mothers who are going to bed on empty stomach. There are children who have dropped out of school. There are young youth who are drug addicts, because this was deliberate by Mnangagwa and his criminals to destroy the destiny of many kids. Don't tell me that I need to look poshy or feel good. I need to be feminine to address such issues. When I'm fighting a war, I don't need that energy at all. When I'm fighting a war, I mean business. We are not going to sit back and watch this country die any longer. 7.1 trillion Manize, trillions of dollars. Chinese are making big money. Trillions of dollars, but we don't have no roads. We have no medication in hospitals. We don't have nothing to show. No public toilet, proper public toilet in Harare, the capital city in Zimbabwe today. Nope. Guys, I don't even know where to start. And somebody want to convince me that Mnangagwa need to stay in the office. This is 2025. The enemy has taken over Zimbabwe, and we can't keep on watching anymore. Other people are taking stands. You heard what Mkwananzi did. He said, we cannot. I'm a Zulu man. I don't beat around the bush. I confront the enemy. Where are the Shona men and the Ndebele men in Zimbabwe? Why the country dies under your watch? You don't need to be in politics to do the right thing. You don't need to be in politics. You have to understand how to protect the land. Today, prostitution in Zimbabwe is like drinking water. Are you surprised why Zimbabwe is so weak? Men would rather go around and be chasing women while the country dies. Everything that you see, alcohol that is being given to children, is deliberate. I always ask a question, why is this regime funding Mafaro all the time? The kids who are supposed to be at school, who are busy dancing on stupid music. It's about time. It's about time. I'm becoming emotional though. I'm sorry. Listen, we have been part of a Zimbabwe that worked, okay? We've been part of a nation that worked. You used to wake up in the morning and find milk used to be given for free, okay? Zimbabweans can tell you, this country used to be, guys, even, I was talking yesterday, I said, you know, in all our, like our high density suburbs, there was clean water. People would have proper breakfast. It doesn't matter how much mukuku, you know, my cabins. They would still wake up in the morning and have proper breakfast, proper lunch, and proper dinner. People could afford. But today, fathers can't afford to buy meat for their children. I remember talking to someone who said to me, he said he was hurt. He owns a butchery. He said he saw one day another man got in and bought a small meat that he could put in the pocket. And he put in the pocket because he felt embarrassed. Okay, a father. That's not the Zimbabwe I want to see. I'm sorry, y'all. Man. I'm so sorry, but I'm just so emotional. That's not it. If you can lose about 7.1 trillions of dollars, but our people can't afford food to eat, that's not the Zimbabwe I want to see. No. No. And fathers, hear me out. You have to do the right thing. You have to remove Mnangagwa out of that office. This is not, and I'm loving the fact that Themba Mliso was able to say, We can't keep on beating around the bush. We can't keep on politicking. We need to resolve our issues and be honest. We can't keep politicking. No, we cannot. I lost my brother during the liberation struggle. We don't know where he was buried. I know many of you lost your family members who fought for the freedom of our people. But today we are breaking chains because you have sold back the country to the highest bidder. You are in cohorts with gangs, international gangsters. The gold mafia showed whom Mnangagwa owe allegiance to. This is no longer a pity party nonsense. This time around, you can't escape. This country has to be taken back to its people. The Zimbabwean people can't be destitutes. Be pushed around in countries, in a country that is so rich, because you are signing stupid deals with criminals. I'm saying stupid deals. I saw a tweet that was sent out by Ali because, listen, there are people that actually exposing most of these big guys, the big boys, that they are selling our diamonds for 20 million to a bidder in Dubai that is selling to Americans for 500 million. You hear this? That's how stupid they are. You sell diamonds for 20 million to a criminal in Dubai that is not selling to the highest bidder for 500 million. You guys are cursed. Your children, up to the 7th generation, are cursed. The money you're taking, your children will not eat it. Some will die taking drugs with that money because you are cursed for the evil you have unleashed on innocent Zimbabweans. Wouldn't do you no wrong? I saw youth, young men that you destroy their lives because of your greedy. You guys are disgusting. So for those that have been sent by Emerson Mnangagwa, take the message back to him that I said so. The money you're taking, it will cause chaos in your families. Watch and learn. Watch and see what's going to happen. Like I said, I was even shocked with what I saw today, but this message is very important for those that are going to Musika Mbare Musika, if you're going to Musika, for some reason. That if you go to Mbare Musika bus terminus, there is always a certain buses with beautiful melodic hooters, bunch of noisy touts and crews. They show up every day, early, convince gullible passengers that the bus will be departing in the next hour. They will attack any potential new operator. The bus conductor issues tickets, collects cash. The AVM 825 is actually the number plate. Please take note. Is revved the whole day. On the 18th hour, the bus conductor disappears. Desperate passengers are moved into another run-down coach, which will travel the whole night, a distance of less 100 kilometers. Any passengers who questions the treatment will be threatened. Desperate passengers will be relieved upon arrival at their respective destinations. They won't complain or make noise. They thank God for getting home safely. This is repeatedly daily because these unscrupulous individuals are working with municipal police and the authorities. However, as a victim, if you are to allow this to happen to you over 3 times, not the bus crew fault, it's because you are an idiot. So Zimbabweans, tell your family members there are buses that have been unleashed by criminals in Zimbabwe, taking people's monies and they don't offer service. They just disappear. Dump you into a well-run-down bus. God knows if you get home or not. They don't give a damn. This can show you how broken our society. Can we say Zimbabwe needs an overhaul? Okay. This politicking nonsense, I'm not buying it. We need to sit down and have a new path as a people and redefine what being Zimbabwean means. I hope you guys listened to the song I played earlier on. Our ancestors are crying. That I genuinely believe the fight against Zimbabweans It's actually ancestors who are saying, go back home. Go back home. You can't be destitute any longer. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm asking you to thumbs up the video, share with others in your groups. We are not stopping until Mnangagwa is sent packing and there's a new path for the people. And it will happen now. Whether Emerson, any criminal, whether you like it or not. By the way, I told you the cars will be taken back to the state. If you collected these cars, not. If you sell them, we want our money back. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Please spread the fire of love everywhere you go. I love you too. Bye for now.